1. I am a butcher in a small grocery chain, and we use a small bandsaw to cut meats. This particular story happened Christmas Eve, when we still had whole country hams. An older woman comes in, and she has no idea which ham she wants between the last two. She just knows how she wants it cut, trimmed, hock removed, and quartered, and 10 slices at a 1/4 inch. She brings me both and makes me decide which one is better. By the time it took me to get a pair of gloves, an apron, and my old knife, she has changed her mind 3 times. I weigh the ham she chooses and put it on my saw and spray it with lubricant, so I can get what little bit of mold off there is. This is normal for us, I don't know about anywhere else. And tell her to stand by the door. I set my guide plate to 1/8 of an inch to start trimming. I see her out of the corner of my eye, but focus on the ham in front of me because I like my fingers and don't want to nick them again. I take my time, because the ham she picked was misshapen and tended to shift a bit. I got to a stopping point and grabbed my knife after turning the saw off. She has moved closer to me by a foot or so, but no biggie, she's out of my way. I dig in with my old blade pointed away from me. I get most of it before turning the blade towards me to start on the rounded pieces I can't get unless I start cutting her ham. The second I start cutting, she yells at me, "Don't do that! That's dangerous!" I start looking towards her, and she's maybe a few inches away from me. I tell her, get back to the door or she'll get hurt. She looks offended and mutters something that I can't catch because she's beside my right ear where I have a hard time hearing. Unrelated accident at home. I brush it off and go back to trimming. I get it situated and hold it up for her to see, and she gives me the go-ahead to cut it. I take the hock off and quarter it, no problem, then adjust the blade to start on her ham slices at a 1/4 inch. I cut one for her and show her, she says it's fine. I start the second and third, no problem. Then I see out of the corner of my eye she's right beside me again. I say, whatever, she'll be out of my hair after I get this in a few seconds. And I know I should have told her to go back to the door. I start her next slice, and she reaches out and adjusts the plate while I'm almost cutting it. I do the only reasonable thing a butcher does and let her have it after I turn the saw off. "You do not touch this saw when I'm using it. Get back to the door, please." She lifts her hand and walks to the door. I readjust the plate, finish her ham, and give it to her. I start to clean the saw and my knife when my manager comes in with a red face of joyous anger a few minutes earlier. "Why did you cuss at that woman?" he asks. I'm confused and ask what he's talking about. He explains it was the woman I just cut for. She came back here while I was using the saw and moved my plate as I was cutting. She is lucky I just yelled at her. "She told me that you yelled at her for no reason and won't be back." I explain exactly what happened, and my manager, still mad, leaves telling me that I'm not in trouble. She definitely came back a few times, but she avoids me because I was so incredibly rude for watching out for my own safety. I know I forgot a few parts here and there, but these are the things I remember most about that. 2. This had to have been sometime the week before Christmas. I don't remember exactly because that whole week is a bit of a blur. This isn't the wildest of stories, but I find it annoying. For some reason, at the clothing store I work at, I keep being zoned to the front door greeter. I have to welcome every customer, engage with them in some way, like telling them the sales or complimenting their outfit. It was very busy being so close to a holiday. An older couple came in during a rush. The first thing out of the man's mouth was, "Do you have a restroom here?" I said, "Hi, welcome in. We don't have a restroom, but that restaurant across the street," I point to the restaurant visible through the side of the store, which is all windows, "should have a restroom available." He was weirdly appalled, basically gasped and said something like, "I couldn't possibly ask a restaurant to use their restroom." I have no idea why a high-end clothing store is more likely to have a customer restroom than a restaurant, but okay. So I repeated, "We don't have a restroom in this store. Our sales are XYZ. Let me know if I can help you find anything." And then more people kept coming in, so I turned to greet them. The older couple talked in the doorway for a minute, and then looked back at me. The man said, "My wife is a customer here." "Okay, great. What can I help you find?" He got impatient with me and started angrily saying that because she is a customer, they should now be able to use the restroom. All I could think was that there's not some magical password to get access to a restroom. No means no. There's an employee restroom behind 2 locked doors that we can't let customers into for liability reasons. It's through a narrow walkway full of boxes and product and whatnot, stacked all along the walls, and you basically have to climb over things to get to the bathroom. Even if I wanted to have customers back there, I'm pretty sure the old people wouldn't physically be able to get to it. After I said no again, the men started saying that they've definitely used our restroom before and think that we're just not letting him use it because of COVID. I haven't heard of any places doing something like that, so I just said again that there's no restroom. My way of combating their insistence was to keep turning away physically, to interact with all of the other customers that kept coming in. I don't want to spend time on someone who just wants to argue with me. I don't have the patience for it, and my customer service face and voice wouldn't hold up against my irritation. They ended up storming into the store past me, probably in search of a manager. Funny enough, after they walked away, I turned around and realized my manager was standing right behind me the whole time, ready to step in if they got loud with their belligerence. 3. So I work in what could be described as a discount variety and department store. We sell a range of things at relatively low prices, including various kitchen appliances. During this particular interaction, I was on the floor and took a PA call for customer assistance to the appliances section. Here we have a top shelf with each appliance unpacked and a lower shelf with the box sock.
Do you have the box for this display air fryer? I want to see how it works.
I'm not sure, I'll have to look for you. I begin by looking at all the boxes on the shelf, just to check the display is the last one.
It's the last one. The box is at the back.
I see that, I'm just checking. I'll go look at the back for you. She was rude from the get-go, a weirdly demanding tone, and seemed super impatient. So I head out to our back stockroom. It's a mess out there, and I can't see the box where it should be with all the others. I go and ask our shift runner, who was on her break, sorry Geordie, if she knows. She says it should be with the others and decides to call our assistant manager on her day off, sorry Donna, who finally says if it's not there it got thrown out. Great. I head back out on the floor. So I had a look, it's not out there and likely got thrown out, sorry. We can still sell it to you, potentially at a discounted price.
Well, I need to see the instructions. It's definitely out there.
At this point, I was already annoyed by her and a bunch of other frustrating things about our stupid store, so I may have forgotten my retail worker etiquette. No, I work here, I've looked, it's not there. I'll get the manager to sort this out for you. I storm up to the register to do a PA call for our shift runner. At this point, she takes over and physically goes through the exact same saga as I just did. Now I'm standing behind the lady while she and her friends talk to the shift runner.
But if I don't have the box, how will I have my warranty?
You'll have a 12-month warranty on the product purchased from our store. As long as you have the receipt, I say, we'll honor the warranty. She turns around to point her finger in my face.
Excuse me, but if you want to talk to me, you can apologize for how you spoke to me earlier.
No. At that, I walked back to the register to take an assistance call from the cashier. The lady did not buy an air fryer, but apparently came back a week later to return a different one her daughter gave her for Christmas. I've also gotten wind that apparently someone wants to file a formal complaint against me. I'm not worried. I have a fantastic work record and the shift runner said she'd back me up. She actually thought it was quite amusing and couldn't believe I had the balls. Maybe I'm too stubborn for customer service. Also, I just sold that air fryer with a 15% discount to a nice couple who said they'd just Google the instructions. 4. The setup. I have worked almost 23 years for an American retail giant that has both mart and wall in its name. I have had several jobs within this company, of which one was customer service manager over 10 years. This particular incident happened while in that role of CSM. Several years ago, I had a very entitled customer, let's call him Smart Guy, who tried to return a used air mattress. Smart Guy wanted his money back because the mattress would no longer hold air. Anyone who buys an air mattress should realize that they should only be used temporarily, and that they were not built to withstand constant use. The air mattress in question had, by the looks of it, been in use for quite some time, quite dirty and worn in bits. To be fair, Smart Guy had kept his receipt, but policy on air mattresses was exchange only once opened. My company actually posted signs over the product saying this. The boxes that the product came in actually had the words "Do not return to store," along with the manufacturer's phone number below that. Now, having explained that, my cashier offered an exchange as per policy. Here is where the entitled Smart Guy loses his mind, screaming at my cashier. What follows is the conversation I had to the best of my memory. "Sir, is there a problem?"
Your stupid employee won't give me my money back.
"I see. Were you offered an exchange?"
I want my money back. I know the law.
"Were you informed of policy on your return?"
I know the law. You have to give me my money back.
"I understand what you want, but our policy only allows for exchange on defective products. As you can see on your box, the manufacturer says not to return to store, and as a courtesy, we offer an exchange." At this point, he gets in my face and starts to scream.
I'm a lawyer and I know the law, and you only work here.
Now, readers, this time you found out I have a smart mouth and impulse control issues. When he shouted at me, basically calling me stupid without calling me stupid, I lost it. I very sweetly smiled and asked him very politely, "You are a lawyer?"
Yes, now give me my money.
"So you went to law school?" He thinks he's winning. He proudly states,
Of course.
Very smugly, I might add. "Did you have to take Latin in law school?"
Of course, but what does...
"So you know the phrase caveat emptor?" I get a blank look from him. Maybe he's starting to realize that I'm not stupid. Because if you know the phrase caveat emptor, you know that it means buyer beware. And as a buyer, you should have been beware of the sign over the product that says, exchange only for opened air mattresses. And of the warning on the box that says, do not return to store. Smart Guy makes fish faces and turns red. I may only work here, but I'm highly intelligent. Have a nice day. Goodbye. I walked away from him triumphant, and he walked out of the store with his dirty air mattress, without his exchange or a refund. I had not noticed my store manager standing one aisle over. She heard the whole thing. She laughed and told me I had done a good job, but not to engage next time. Some people choose to work retail because of different reasons, not because we are stupid or uneducated. And some educated people are just plain ignorant and should be knocked down a peg whenever they act entitled. I hope you all enjoyed my act of defiance, however small it may be. Also, this post was in no way meant to denigrate those who actually study law, but to highlight the ignorance and entitlement of people who demean those they consider beneath them. 5. Happy New Year's, everyone. Hope you're having a better night than I am right now. I work at a store with its own online delivery service. The company contracts drivers the same way all the third-party food delivery drivers do. The drivers we have at my store are generally pretty chill, a lot of whom I've gotten relatively close to on coworker and acquaintance level. For New Year's Eve, we had a ton of drivers tonight that came in to meet the New Year's Eve demand, many of which I didn't know. I was handing an order to one of the drivers in their car when my coworker called in on my walkie to ask me to verify that the driver had the correct order. It looked like my coworker had mislabeled an order or something like that, so he just wanted to verify that the driver had the right one. Before I could even finish saying, "Oh, hang on, before you go," the driver already started driving right over my foot. I screamed and the driver stopped, still on my foot, asking, "What's wrong? What happened?" It took me about 5 seconds before I could get any words out. But when I finally could, I managed to squeal out the words, "Back up! Back up! Please back up!" What I didn't realize in the moment was that the driver was already more past my foot than on top of it. So in backing up, the driver ran over my foot again. In pretty extreme pain, I cut my footing on the driver's car, trying to sort my brain out in the panic of the moment. The driver said, "Hey, take some deep breaths." Between my best attempts at deep breaths, instead of whatever self-preservation instinct that should have kicked in, my dumbass brain instead prioritized work, so I started double-checking his order instead and said, "Let me just go run this by my coworker real quick. Hang on just a second." Once I got back in, I let my coworker know about what happened, to which he immediately exploded, called the store manager, who had already left for the day, and confronted the driver. The manager came right back, examined my foot, and immediately started on the workers' comp stuff. My coworker also said to me that the driver was getting defensive, saying things like, "What kind of training do you guys do around here? He was too close to my car," among other things. Whether it was the driver's fault or my fault, at the end of the day I'm spending New Year's in the ER. So that's a way to send off 2021, I suppose. After a grueling wait, late into the night, I finally got x-rayed with clear results for no fractures or any serious damage. The doctor got me on bed rest off work for the next few days and gave me crutches in case the pain makes it difficult to walk. But after sleeping it off, a good amount of the pain has gone away. It still hurts when there's pressure around the top of my foot. So wearing a shoe is still a no-go, at least for now. But I'm sure that'll change sooner than later. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Adventures in Fast Food and Retail, episode 149. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. If you enjoyed the video, then please do like, subscribe, and possibly also comment if you're so inclined. And I would appreciate it if you shared the video around to all your friends and family. That helps me out a great deal. Alrighty, I believe we have a... Let me just check. We have a birthday shout-out, but do we have any other shout-outs for today? Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, just a birthday shout-out. And today's birthday shout-out goes to Cherish, aka Banaflip on Discord. This birthday shout-out is going up a little bit late because I received it day of, when I'd actually already done the next 2 days' videos. So it wasn't possible then, so let's see, 2 days ago, the 20th would have been Thursday. So a very happy belated 33rd birthday to you, Cherish. I certainly hope you had a delightful time, and as has been decreed here in the Hellfreezer reading group, we celebrate our birthdays month long now, because why the hell not, eh? I hope whatever you're doing is filled with chocolates and TV and takeout, and actually I'm describing my ideal birthday. Whatever it is you like to do, I hope you get to do that. And before we go, I'd like to sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cherish, cherish the thought. Happy birthday to you. Alrighty, and this is Saturday, so we'll do my bestest to have our gaming stream this Saturday. Try to start about the usual time. I'm going to shoot for 2 hours, but the thing is, going to let you in a little secret. Don't tell anybody though, it's just between you and I. I always shoot for 2 hours, but it always runs long, so we'll see what mood I'm in. At least 2 hours, hopefully. Probably a bit of Phasmo, but I'm at the point now with that game I'm starting to get bored again. And I don't know when the next update is. I think it may be February at the earliest, but that's just pure speculation on my part. So I might dig about and look for other games that I can do with the community. I know I've got a few. I've got Dead by Daylight there. I've got No Man's Sky if anyone has that. I'm not going to completely swear off buying new games, but it wouldn't be my ideal choice. I've got plenty of games there, basically, so I'll just have to dig through those and see which ones are multiplayers that also aren't shitty Bang Bang games. Because I'm sure you've all heard me talk about my reasons for not playing those on stream before, although I do play them personally, hence why I own them, like Fallout 76. I played a bit more of that recently. Okay, and with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourself.